that his prosecution is persecuting of them. You saw President Trump here walking around towards the press pool. We understand that some of our competitors, including CNN, have decided not to take these remarks. We, of course, will.
Bad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you're going to have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have three other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Did you pardon yourself?
President Trump took no questions. The pardon yourself question doesn't really make a lot of sense, considering these are state charges rather than federal ones that if he won, he could pardon himself on. I think it's interesting as we're back here with the panel watching the former president hop back on the plane. There are other television networks who have covered this wall-to-wall all day and then refuse to take the comments of the person who they've been covering all day.
Leland, this goes to the point that I have continued to try to drill home here. People are going to look at this and are going to say, why are they not covering it? I think the Trump's point about it being an election interference, I probably wouldn't necessarily use those words, but when you talk to everyday people, they say, well, look, let me make this decision next year when I vote. And if I don't want to vote for Trump, then I'll vote for Biden. If I want to vote for Trump, I'll vote for Trump. It was like your similar questions early, Leland, when you asked, well, do you run the risk of forcing people to make the decision of voting for him because they feel that individuals are trying to force them to vote for somebody else? People don't like that. It's an innate part of human nature.
Look, and that's what he said. If they can do it to me, they can do it to you. I'm fighting for it. And Kurt, look, I understand what the feeling of Democrats of wanting to prosecute the former president on and on. Is there any concern? Twofold. One, that, yeah, you may meet the bar of beyond a reasonable doubt for a crime, but you may not meet the bar, and at least so far there's evidence, public evidence, to indicate that the bar has not been met, that this was beyond a political prosecution. And that how are Democrats going to convince the American people that the prosecution of President Trump is not what he is saying of election interference?
Well, actually, I think the answer to that's going to come not from Democrats or political figures. It's going to come from the evidence that's presented during these trials. They either have the evidence, frankly, or they don't. And at the end of the day, that's going to become very evident one way or the other. And once it does, well, no, I actually agree with Sir Michael, by the way, that if you're going to spend the entire day chronicling every step of this person going to jail, turning himself in, they're definitely going to air the mugshot, right? You have an obligation to air what he says after. You just do. It is unfair, and it is putting your thumb on the scale. Listen, I'm all for not taking Donald Trump's rallies wall to wall. I'm all for not taking campaign stops wall to wall. But in this specific instance, when you have someone that you've been literally airing footage of cars behind him, following him, you have to air what he says. Come on.
According to CNN, because he has made false claims, CNN has decided not to play his comments, which I guess begs the question: then
why cover it all?
Right? Why cover it all? If the
why
whole
aren't they
point
just playing footage from the debate last night?
I mean, look, I'm reminded of the psychological term reactance. It's where individuals
That's a big
assert
word.
their freedom or their autonomy.
Did you look that up?
I had to because I was really curious about this idea of trying to coerce people to do something that they may not want to do. And I really believe you're going to have a lot of Americans, Leland, who are going to look at this and say, you know, I don't like this guy, but man, this is really wrong. They really are trying to skew this thing to Joe Biden. who can't remember where he's at most of the time, who's falling up the stairs there.
Okay.
I'll this way. It's hard though.
It's harsh, but it's the reality, Kurt. It's the reality that people watch every single day, Leland, on their television.
Listen,
and we can't hide those.
Joe Biden isn't involved in any of this at all.
I didn't say he was. I did not say he was. I'm just saying he's not mentally or physically capable. That's all I'm saying.
We were doing so well for a while.
Leland.
It's amazing. All right. This, though, I think is a real point, and one that you guys both agree on. I think it's an important one. You've just watched something unprecedented, which is the former president of the United States now charged in Georgia with a crime. This is his fourth indictment, so I guess it is no longer truly unprecedented. The mugshot that's coming will be unprecedented. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.